Okay, hello everybody. I'm sorry I'm about 7 minutes late today. I apologize, but I have a really exciting change of program for you today. I have the amazing Marika Boyko, who's going to be my model, and she's absolutely stunning. So I'm so excited that I'm going to be able to show you some makeup techniques on her face, and she has a very different look to me, so it's going to be nice to have a little bit of a change. Today I'm going to, just reaching over here, I'm going to show you how to use our new Country Garden palette on her. She's fair, she's just an absolutely stunning, beautiful girl, so really excited to be able to use her as a model. As I mentioned, I'm going to talk about a couple of tools, essential tools that you need to do any makeup application. So I'm going to start with brushes. What I do is I have my brushes in a little cup, so that's just easy for me to, when I'm done using it, I just pop it in. It prevents me from putting it on the table where it can pick up dust and dirt and bacteria. So another thing that I do is when I wash them, I have a bar of soap, I swivel my brush in the soap, I rinse it out under the sink. So I don't put the whole brush in water, because what happens with that is this, where the handle and the head of the brush connect, there's a lot of glue in there that helps keep it together, and the water will sort of rot away your wood and disperse the glue, and that's when your brush starts coming apart. So you definitely don't want to stick that brush in the sink with water. I've done that many times and lost a lot of brushes. So swivel it around in soap, and what you can do is just have that sitting next to you. You can just have that sitting next to you on the sink, and when you're finished doing your makeup or whatever, swivel it, clean it out, and then you just pop it in there to dry, and it'll be ready for you the next morning. This is sort of a do as I say, not as I do. I recommend you wash your brushes every day so it doesn't collect bacteria. That's not always easy when you're running out in the morning. So I recommend at least once a week on a Sunday when you're doing your mask, as we all do every week. I recommend just while your mask is setting and you know, sometimes you want it to dry, washing your brushes, letting it sit, then it's ready for you the next week. So I'm going to go through some of the main brushes you're going to need for these looks. A couple of extra depending on what you like to do. In Arbonne we have a magnificent brush roll set. We have 10 brushes and pretty much has most of your brush needs. A few brushes that you might want to add to that. What I love about the brushes, and I'll go through each one, is that, so this is our main powder brush. Just going to set those aside so that I can easily get them. This is our main powder brush, and it's big enough to disperse powder as you need. You've seen me do apply my my setting powder. I use my foundation powder as a setting powder sometimes, and I love giving big circular sweeps around my face because it helps polish that powder in and set my foundation. And what I love about it is it's firm enough that it holds enough product, but yet soft enough to be able to spread that powder around your face without putting a blotch, so you don't have like a huge application of powder and then nothing else on your brush. So that's really key. It's soft and it's not real animal hair. It's vegan, and it's really hard to find a good vegan brush that can do all those things that you need it to do. So one of the reasons why I love the palette is it does the job and it's still cruelty-free. So that's your blush brush, really essential. I apply my foundation with my fingers. As I mentioned, you can use a foundation brush and you can even use a sponge. When using the sponge, just moisten it a little bit, squeeze out as much water as you can, because what that will do is prevent the sponge from soaking in all that foundation, wasting it, and then not really applying it very well. And if you like to do what I do, I'll talk to you more about using your fingers, because that's the method that I use. Another brush that's really essential is a blush brush. Now, this brush, I don't know if you can notice, but see how when I do this, it pops back in place really quickly. When I do this, it takes a bit more, it's more flexible. This is because you really want to disperse the powder all over. Whereas your blush, you want to have a bit more control where you put it. So it's a little bit firmer, but yet soft enough that it spreads and doesn't just, like I mentioned, keep that blush sitting in one spot and doesn't spread very easily. So you want it, you know, a good size so that as you put it on your cheek and you spread it, it doesn't go all over your face, and you're not using a whole lot of effort to spread it all around your face. So I love this blush brush because it's the perfect size for most people. Eyeshadow brushes are essential, and Marika's just joined us, so she's on the side ready to come and sit here. She's been feeding these little kitty cats that she's fostering, and one teeny weeny baby cat. So beautiful girl, big heart. Eyeshadow brushes are key. You want to have about 2 or 3 eyeshadow brushes, and what you'll find in our line is that we have a few eyeshadow brushes of different sizes, and you want to definitely have, you know, one for contouring, one for highlight, so that you don't mix the colors in together and they blend nicer. One thing that I do find that's missing in our brush line that you may want to add is a teeny tiny brush like that. Can you see? I'll put it in that space where you can see. This brush is really, really good for smaller eyes, or even for getting under in that area, so you just have more control. We also do have this flat liner brush, and this brush is essential. Everybody needs this brush. What you use this brush for is doing your eyeliner, getting right into the lash line. You can also use it for going under the eye there, going inside the eye, as I showed you a couple of times to do. So everybody needs that brush, and that's available in both our brush roll, the main brush roll kit, as well as the travel brush set. Those are your essential brushes, and you can always add a few more. And as I go, if there's anything else that I haven't talked about, then I'll definitely let you know. Another tool that is essential is your curling eyelash curler. Every woman needs to own this, unless you're blessed with fabulously long, naturally curled lashes. But no, actually, no. My eyelashes are quite stubborn and they tend to stick down, so I never leave my house without curling my lashes. But see, nobody can tell. So that's an essential product. And, you know, having the right base, it gives you a nice even complexion where you don't feel anything on your skin, and has enough coverage to hide a little blemish here and there, cover up your under eye. Having a good base is really important, which is why I jumped onto the Arbonne line. I loved their foundation. Key products is a primer. So this primer has some amazing uses. One of them is to go under the foundation, so it keeps your foundation sitting on your face. Especially with summer coming along, you're going to be perspiring, and you want your makeup to sit where you put it and not end up somewhere else on your face. Other amazing uses: if you have a blister on your foot and it's bothering you, pull out your primer, place it on that blister, and I guarantee you're going to feel way more comfortable after that. Figured that out when I was out one night and I had no other choice but to try this out, and it really works. So definitely give that a go. You can also use the primer together with an eyeshadow. I recommended trying that technique yesterday. So you take your brush, put a little bit of primer on your hand, mix the brush into the primer, mix it into a little bit of your eyeshadow, and what you get is a beautiful gel liner. And it stays put, which is really amazing. A good setting powder, there are so many different ones to choose from, so a setting powder is definitely something that you want. And of course, mascara. And my absolute favorite mascara, one I'm going to recommend that everybody puts in their kit, is the Long Story mascara. So longer lashes, more bold lashes without looking like you're a baby doll, but just really wearable. It doesn't flake, and definitely one of the best mascaras that I've used, so I recommend that everybody puts that in their kit. So those are the main essentials that you need, and of course with foundations you can play around with different colors, but I am going to talk to you about matching a foundation color and matching a lip color. So what I might do is get my beautiful model Marika to come and places with me, and I'm going to do a beautiful look on her today and just show you how to match her foundation and what to do with her eyes. So Marika, if you're ready, come and have a seat. I might put you a little bit back so I have space to work.
Okay, this is good.
Perfect, this is really good. So this is my model, Marika. Marika, say hi to the world.
Hi, world.
All right.
Brazil,
That's right.
Australia,
Yeah.
Ottawa.
Ottawa.
Last but not least.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about Marika's features, and I guess I'll get in the video so it doesn't look too odd. You don't just see my body without my head. But Marika has a round face and this beautiful bone structure. Her features are really in her cheeks. So we want to accentuate that because that's one of the things I noticed first about her. Now, she's one of those people that have a beautiful button nose that I talked about that really gives nice symmetry to the face. So when I was talking about a high bridge nose that makes the eyes look closer together and a flatter nose that makes the eyes look further apart, having a very well balanced symmetrical face with a nose kind of eliminates that problem, so you get to try a lot more different styles. Great lip shape, great jawline here, and Marika has slightly smaller eyes. So if you can see, she has hooded eyes, which is what we've been talking about. So I'm going to see if you can sit in a little bit closer, Marika, so people can see what I'm talking about.
This is all news to me, by the way.
Really? This is a free lesson right here.
And
okay.
A great haircut.
And a great haircut. All right, so from Marika's lash line to her crease, it's a lot smaller than from her crease to her brow bone. That's a lot bigger. So it tends to hang over her mobile lid a little bit more. So I'm going to stand out of the way so I can show what I'm talking about. So what we want to do is just bring a little bit more balance to her look.
Yeah, should I get closer?
Yeah, if you can get closer. I just need to be able to work a little bit on you. So what we're going to do is try and balance that so that we have more mobile lid, which is the part of the eye that opens and closes, and balance it out with that brow bone. So what I'm going to do is show you how to match foundation first. I'm going to take my 3 colors that I think will suit you. Have you had a tan lately?
No.
No? Okay. So I'm going to pick 3 of the colors that I think closely match. So that's 1. That is soft blush. This is buff. And the last one I'm going to use is honey beige. Now, of course, you don't have to do this to yourself every day, but what you really want to do when you're first trying to find a foundation is put the 3 closest colors to you. And I don't know if you can see that, but the color that disappears into her skin where we don't really notice it is the color that we want to use. And it looks like it's going to be buff. That seems to be the color that disappears most clearly into your skin. So I'm just going to wipe that off for you. Okay. And so I'm going to put a little bit of a serum on Marika's face just to plump it up a little bit. So Marika very kindly agreed to do this last-minute video with me. We were having coffee, and I needed to run and do this video, and she's I asked her if she would be my model, and she very generously agreed. So every skin needs a serum. It's more like a vitamin cocktail for the face, and what it does is it sort of repairs the skin from inside out. It goes deep into the tissue, and then you need moisturizer for the top of the skin.
That's very refreshing.
Yeah, this is from a Calm line, and it's got cucumber in it, so it's calming and also has a nice refreshing feel to it. And of course, the next product I'm going to put on you is primer. So what the primer will do is it'll fill in some of those pores that might seem bigger than you would like, and also those fine lines, along with keeping your makeup in place. A lot of people with oily skin are afraid of primer, but this primer is really nice and mattifies the face, so anybody can use it. In fact, it's really good for people with oily skin because it'll prevent the makeup from being too shiny. Okay, how does that feel, Marika?
Really nice.
Okay. So we're going to use, I think it was the buff on you. Okay, so I'm going to pop a little bit of the buff on my fingers. And I put about that much on, can you see? Am I high enough? Yep. And I'm just going to rub it together until it warms up. Yeah. And then just really gently, somebody sent me some feedback and said, it looks like you're really rubbing in the product. And I'm not. I'm using quite gentle fingers. Rubbing moisturizer on my face. Called foundations, and what that does is it is 100% breathable, so your skin can breathe and still feel really comfortable and feel like it doesn't really have anything on, which is what we don't want to go around wearing too much on our skin. That's like a face massage too, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm falling asleep here. That's great.
Okay, so that's the product that we have.
I'll be your model anytime.
Great. So now before I set the makeup with foundation, I'm going to put a little bit of concealer. And I'm using the light concealer.
Oh,
Again.
you might want to use heavier stuff.
Yeah, we haven't been sleeping that long.
Honest, your primer's working wonders.
So just a little bit in there to get you to open your eye up a little bit. Just the other side, and come around the other side. Just get you just there. And you can blink as much as you need to with this. Just going to cover a little bit of redness there. I hope it doesn't rain while we're doing this.
Yeah, we have to move.
Just close your eyes for me. We finally have a warm day here today in Ottawa, so we thought we'd take a chance and do it outside. How does that feel?
Feels like really nice light product.
Good. So what I'm going to do is now just powder it with our translucent setting powder. So this is a very light powder. That's just to really set the products. This comes in a loose powder form and also a pressed powder form, so it's easy to take with you if you need to touch up, either for weddings or at work. Okay.
The brushes feel really nice too.
Thank you. They're really nice and soft and bendable and workable, which is what I love about them. So I'm going to open my new palette. Okay, perfect. I'm going to come on this side just so it's easier to work. So,
okay, I got it.
Okay. Because I'm right-handed, so it makes more sense to stay on this side. Okay. So I'm going to just going to show you, yeah, this is our brand new palette. I'm going to show you these colors before I put them on Marika. These eyeshadows are absolutely stunning, and what's incredible about them is you can't really get these colors anywhere else. They're kind of an iridescent color. They're an in-between, like your gray-brown taupey color. It's very hard to find that exact shade, and to find an iridescent color that has a teal or a blue or a kind of depending on the light hitting it. Beautiful neutral colors at the bottom. So you're going to see how I work with it to give Marika a nice spring look. So grabbing one of my main eyeshadows, I'm going to apply, what is this color called? Willow. So that's the main color, Willow. I'm going to apply that on her mobile lid. So pressing the color into my hand, as I do, and just close your eye for me, Marika. And I'm only, if you can see, I'm really pressing it onto a mobile lid, and I'm not going any higher than that. So what that does is it's going to open up that mobile lid for me. So next color. And you can see it just sits there, just kind of balances the eye a little bit. I'm taking a new brush that doesn't have the color on it, and I'm just going to, with this gray color here, taupey brown, it's called Bluebell. Bluebell. Interesting. As you can see, this is a new palette for me too. Let's just close your eyes, Marika. Now, in Marika's socket, I'm going to be putting the Bluebell. And I'm pressing it into her crease and then pushing it upwards, blending it upwards. So what I've done is I've used this Bluebell to push and recede her brow bone, and I've used the Willow to accentuate and highlight her mobile lid. I'm going to do the same for the other side. So I press quite firmly where I want the product to be, and as I go higher on the lid, I kind of release a bit of that pressure, and that allows me to blend that product up so there's no line. This is one of those brushes that don't really have much of a use. It's too small for a blush brush, and it's too small for a powder brush, but it's great for just wiping away any fallen eyeshadow. So using my finger, I'm just going to spread that upwards. So we talked about this yesterday, about how this is a great way to blend those edges without adding any more eyeshadow to the eye. And if you do have a bit of shimmer in the eyeshadow, which this color does have, it tends to just matte the blended area. Yeah, that's good. Just going to blend this side as well. Now, with Marika's eye, yes, her brow bone is bigger than her mobile lid, and we've kind of balanced that. There's also not a whole lot of space there, so I definitely want to accentuate under the brow a little bit. So I'll do that by taking a small brush that I talked about earlier, if I can find it. Let's see. Oh, that one. Thank you.
It's on this
Knew
side.
it was somewhere. So using the color Willow, pressing it on my hand so I really just get what I need. I'm going to go under that brow bone and just highlight just the very base of that. Because I don't want to accentuate that brow bone too much. It's already quite prominent. But I do want to distinguish between that crease eyeshadow and the brow. So and just open for me. I'm pretty. Okay. So what I'm going to do is use my black eyeliner. So I'm going to take my black eyeliner pencil, using my liner brush. I'm going to get as much product on that pencil, from that pencil as I can onto my brush. Okay, just close your eye. So really close to Marika's lash line, I'm going to draw a really thin line and just line her eye. She doesn't have much space on the mobile lid, so I really want to keep that line thin so it doesn't take up too much space, but still defines eye. Now, do the same to the other side. You can always use your fingers to lift up the eye to get right in there. Sometimes we have creasy eyes. Sometimes as we get older, they tend to drape a little bit more. Okay, and now comes the fun part, going inside the eye. So this is a really good technique, the one I'm about to do for Marika, is because she doesn't have much space on her mobile lid. So rather than taking up too much space lining that, I'm going to line a really thin line on the top, but also a line underneath it. So just look down for me, Marika. I'm just going to get in here. And you can blink as much as you need to with this. This isn't the most pleasant, and just look down for me. Thing to do on someone, and just in this corner here. And open. So just looking straight ahead, you can see how much more lined the eye is without taking up space on the lid. Can you see that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
I'm going to do the same for the other side. Are you taking notes in your head while I
Yeah,
do
for
this?
sure. It's great, awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to get you to look down for me. So look in that corner. You want to move the eyeball away from where you're working on. Okay, and over in this corner. Perfect. I'll let you blink for a bit there. Okay. How does that feel? Okay?
Good, yeah.
Perfect. We're good.
Good.
Okay. Perfect.
Very nice.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to curl your lashes. You already have mascara on them, so I'm going to be very careful about putting mascara on them again because dry mascara never sits too perfectly on top of one another. Do you curl your lashes?
I sometimes do. I didn't this morning.
Okay, so just look on at the keyboard. Do I have skin? No?
Pardon me?
I was asking if I had skin.
Oh,
That's
no. It's all good. I've learned the importance of getting a good curler.
Yep.
Because I once took out half my eyelashes doing this.
Oh gosh. You definitely don't want to do that.
It's a broken curler.
Okay, how's that?
Good. Yeah, very nice.
So what I'm going to do is apply our long story mascara, which is here, the disposable wand. Usually I use tissue for this.
There's some inside.
There is? Okay, I'm going to run in on the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I'm just going to run in and get 2 seconds.
On the fridge is the Kleenex box. She's back in a minute.
Okay, perfect. So the reason I do this method, and just close your eyes for me, is so that I don't affect the rest of the makeup. I had a really amazing makeup artist named Kim Tavares, who was my mentor, and she taught me this trick. It's one of the best things I took away. Just look down for me. And open. And you really get to
Oh my gosh,
get a lot of that
dramatic
product.
lashes.
Yes, exactly. All right, and just close the other side for me. Now, if you do get mascara anywhere on your face, a good tip is always let it dry. Okay. A good tip is always to let it dry, and then use a little Q-tip with some powder on it, and just flake it away, and it'll just disappear beautifully. So just have a look at that. Okay, we're gonna let that dry before I do your bottom lashes. It's really pretty on you. So I'm just gonna use that tiny brush to do your bottom lashes. So I'm using this brush. I put a little bit of that Bluebell on it, just pressing it into my hand. And as I said, the reason I do this is because I don't want that eyeshadow to fall out on her face, but I also want the product to sit into my brush to have a bit more control. So just look up for me. How's that?
Nice.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side too. And you just look over on the other side. Okay, perfect. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna just look up for me. Sorry, there's wind. That's not
There's
the
also
best.
sun.
Wind and sun.
The elements are not helping us out.
No, at least it's not raining.
Mm-hmm.
Just cleaning up around here a little bit. Okay. So have a look at that. So as you can see with Marika's eyes, I've really brought a little bit more balance to the brow bone and the mobile lid. And I've accentuated her eyes. And now for my favorite part on Marika is her cheeks. She just has these dynamic cheekbones.
This is really incredible, Kit. My eyes are really popping out.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we have a combination of a really soft peach color and a little bit of a bronzy, summery skin tone that we're going to play around with. Mix the two. This time I'm using this color actually. But it's got this really sheen, like nice sheen on it, so without having too much color. So I'm just going to tap it into my skin. So You see how when the light hits, it really just highlights your cheekbone area. It's the same thing on the other side. I've been teaching people, Marika, how to find the bone, pop your brush there, and just kind of do circular motions, and then drag it upwards, and then bring it a little bit in. And same like that. So it's a really nice soft color, but it does bring attention to your cheeks because that's one of your best features that you have. And finally, our lip color, which is a new addition to our Arbonne range. It's a lip balm, a lipstick, and a lip gloss in one, and it's the most nourishing lip color I've had. So I'm going to line your lips first, and then I'm going to add this. So this will be great for Marika's lips because they're a little bit dry. So by using a nice nourishing lip color, not only is she accentuating this lips, but she's also nourishing them and moisturizing them. So just taking a little bit of that lip color, getting it on my brush. A lip brush is also part of the full brush range. I normally just put the lipstick and lip gloss on myself for my products, but if I'm applying it to other people, you definitely want to be careful about cleaning your brushes and not using the same lipstick on people, using a brush instead. Can you feel the difference in that lipstick?
Oh yeah, it's really moisturizing.
It's really nicely, and it's a really good color on you too. So last but not least, we're going to finish up with Marika's brows. Just gonna. You've got a really nice shape, so all we need to do really is just fill in a few little spots there and extend the ends just the tiniest bit. I'm going to use my Toffee pencil because that's a great color for brows as well, even blonde. So using a small brush, and you can get this, oh, little squirrel. What I love about doing this outdoors. You can get this from our, you can get this from our our travel set. It's also an angle brush. It's just a little bit smaller. What I'm going to do is just fill in a little bit. So just relax your brow. Fill in a little bit. I'm not blocking. Maybe one day we'll get more technological and get a cameraman to come in and film some amazing angles. When we get sponsored.
Okay. Made it, you're doing just great.
So there we go. That's the complete look from the Country Garden, palette. I'm just going to give Marika a few seconds to show you. Just close your eyes, let people see what it looks like. Open, maybe just give a bit of a profile. What a beautiful.
Turn the other way.
And turn the other way. Marika, thank you so much for being part of our Lunch and Lens. And all the products, I'm going to write down what I used, and you can get them on the website. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write me. I've been getting some great feedback. So I thank you so much for being so involved and being part of this. And, you know, for the feedback, the good and the productive, I welcome them all. And, of course, everybody who gives me feedback or shares or likes gets to go into a draw for my weekly prize, and you get to win one of the products that I've used throughout the week. So thank you for joining us, and join us again tomorrow where we'll be doing something completely new. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.